Gallery 2. The Red Picture and the Blue. According to the story, my third word after mommy and daddy was picture. In Zagreb, where I spent the first 2 years of my life, my mother lifted me from my pram to see the pieces of art. Look at the picture. On sunny days, we took the funicular from our apartment in the old section of the city, downhill to the lower, newer portion, where we visited galleries or just toured the neighborhoods. Or we wandered closer to home through cobblestone streets to St. Mark's Church, with its ecstasy of colorful roof tiles only a few blocks away. Even if we stayed indoors, we could gaze down from the windows of our apartment into the courtyard of the Mestrović Atelier, a gallery dedicated to one of Yugoslavia's most renowned artists. The rumor went that years before, Mestrović himself had slept in the very rooms where we now slept, had eaten where we now ate, had regarded the same medieval views of Zagreb. Our dining room, which was punctuated with a series of rounded alcoves, once displayed the sculptor's works in progress. And so I kept saying, picture, picture, picture. I stretched my hand toward the beautiful. In my first year, laid on the living room floor, I pulled lint from the wool rug, rolling the soft balls of color between my finger and thumb. My mother swears she used to find me arranging these kernels of bright lint in intricate patterns, placing small nubs of orange beside specks of yellow and green. I could stay like this for hours, my liquid infant gaze focused on the swirl of design and hue. Already I saw the flowers woven in the carpet and made my own in turn. It was the mid-1970s, my parents' first post. Before my birth, they spent a little over a year in Belgrade, after which they moved to Zagreb, where my father was the Deputy Cultural Affairs Officer. At the U.S. Cultural Center, the Foreign Service Nationals, or FSNs as they're known, called me Sweetica, the English word, paired with the affectionate Serbo-Croatian diminutive Ika, little sweetie. I was so tiny my father could fit my head in his palm, my feet barely reaching the crook of his arm. At the end of 4 years in Yugoslavia, less than a week before we were about to leave for our next assignment, this time in Zaire, my parents received a phone call. Good news. Mirsad Berber, the great Bosnian Muslim painter, had agreed to sell my parents something. The artist didn't often accept American patronage. Apparently, an American tourist, upon entering his studio, had once asked with dismay, "Is this the only stuff you do?" But Berber had been persuaded at last that my parents were sincere in their admiration, and he decided to let them have 2 paintings.